The soft click of the crochet needle echoed through the quiet room as Wine sat on the floor like a cozy little ball of energy, surrounded by pastel yarns and her half finished masterpiece, a blue sweater for a man who had zero idea how to smile. This is sweater number 4 for a man who's colder than my fridge. He should pay rent for how much space he takes in my brain. She huffed dramatically, tying a knot with more force than necessary. But still, he'll wear it silently like a statue, like I forced him at gunpoint. She giggled to herself, shaking her head. Why is he like this? I really saw his eyes soften when I tripped over the table and fell on my face last week. He pretended not to care, but Sir's whole soul almost flew out of his body. She scrunched her nose, pretending to mimic his voice. Watch where you are going. Sir, I almost died and you are giving me GPS instructions. She glanced at the clock. 8:56 p.m. No call, no message. No pigeon courier, just silence. It's almost 9 and he didn't even call. Cold-blooded husband. She mumbled, plopping the half-finished sweater in her lap before grabbing her phone. With a dramatic sigh, she dialed his number. It rang twice before the deep, familiar voice answered. Yes, can't a wife call her husband without sounding like an intruder? What is it, wine? I'm craving chocolate, so would you bring it while coming back? There was a pause, her heart thudded with nervousness, lips pressed in a pouch. Text me the brand. Wine's eyes widened, a soft smile escaping before she quickly whispered, Okay, thank you. She cut the call quickly, cheeks heating up, a silly smile stretching across her face as if she had just been handed the moon. She looked down at her yarn again, her fingers moving automatically. See, he acts cold, but he is the first to show up with what I want. My Mr. Coley really thinks I don't notice how warm he actually is. She hummed a soft tone, heart fluttering, as she resumed crocheting. You better wear this sweater, Jungkook, or I'll tie you in it myself. After tying the last loop of yarn, Wine held up the blue sweater and squealed under her breath. It was perfect, soft, cozy, and made with every ounce of love she had for a man who never asked for it but always made space for it. Mission Make Mr. Coley warm completed. She gently folded the sweater and walked to the cupboard, tucking it inside the top shelf. Then suddenly her eyes widened. Wait, tomorrow's on A's wedding function and his birthday is the day after tomorrow. Her lips curled into a soft smile. He never asks for anything, but he keeps all my silly gifts like they're gold. She pressed her hand to her chest, heart warm, then hurried to the kitchen. She began heating up dinner, arranging the plates like she was preparing for a mini feast. Just as she placed the last spoon on the table, the doorbell rang. Her eyes lit up. He's here. She dashed to the drawer and opened it with a wide smile, only for her to deflate slightly. Jungkook walked in with tired eyes and a blank expression, not even glancing her way. He tossed his keys on the side table and collapsed onto the living room couch. She followed him, forcing her smile to stay, and offered him a glass of water. Here, drink this. You look like you fought a war today. He took the glass, wordlessly drank, and set it down. Wine sat across from him and glanced at his hands. No chocolates. Her smile faded a little, chest tightening. Maybe he forgot. Why leave it? Act like a woman. He works so hard. He's tired. It's okay. You're not five. She bit her lip and looked away, sighing internally. Just then, Jungkook stood up and walked to the kitchen. Owen watched him quietly. He didn't say a word. After a few moments, he disappeared into the bedroom to take a shower. He really forgot. She mumbled a tiny curse under her breath as she stomped her way back to the kitchen. Later, they sat together at the dinner table. Jungkook ate silently and she tried to fill the quiet. So, tomorrow's Un's big day. You excited? Yeah. You picked your outfit? Hmm. Okay then, with only yes, no responses, and slight nods, the conversation fizzled out like soda gone flat. After dinner, Wine quietly washed the dishes, the silence of his house pressing against her chest. She then padded softly into the bedroom where Jungkook was sitting on the bed, scrolling through his phone. She stood in front of the wardrobe, peeking over her shoulder coldly. He looked up with one brow raised. What did you call me? Oops, I mean, Jungkook, can you help me with something? Without a word, he stood and walked over to her. She looked up at him with fake sweetness. I was thinking, what should I wear tomorrow? Help me decide. He sighed but leaned in to check the wardrobe. His fingers brushed over hangers, pausing at a soft peach dress. This one, it will look good on you. His voice was as calm and emotionless as always, but the gesture made her cheeks warm. Thank you, coldly. He narrowed his eyes at her and walked back to the bed. Your chocolates are in the fridge. I put them there so they wouldn't melt. Wine froze, her jaw dropped slightly in shock, then turned into the most dramatic smile she could manage. Oh, thank you. He didn't respond, just turned to his side and pulled the blanket over him, pretending she didn't exist. She looked at him, holding back a giggle, then whispered to herself, he's annoying, but he's my annoying. She tiptoed to the fridge, hugged the chocolate like it was a love letter, then returned to the bedroom hurtful. Even when he's cold, he always cares in his own way. The next evening, you stood in front of the mirror, carefully applying a soft coral pink lipstick that complemented the peach chiffon dress Jungkook had chosen for you. It hugged your waist delicately and flowed down like petals, embroidered with tiny pearls along the neckline. Your hair was curled softly, pinned halfway up with a diamond clip. Golden earrings dangled from your ears, catching the light every time you turned. You looked graceful, radiant, and a little nervous. He really picked the perfect one for me, didn't he? Just then you heard a car horn blare from outside. You gasp and quickly snatched your little clutch purse from the dresser, slipping into your heels. You hurried down the stairs, your dress brushing against each step like a whisper. Outside, Jungkook stood beside his sleek black car, arms folded across his chest, eyes dark under his soft black fringe. He wore a charcoal grey suit, shirt unbuttoned just enough to make your heart misbehave. He looked like every girl's dream and every heart's danger. You cleared your throat dramatically. Mr. Coley, your peach arrived. Jungkook turned slowly, his gaze landing on you. Then pausing, his arms dropped slightly, his lips parted for just a second. So beautiful, he coughed lightly, quickly composing himself, then opened the car door. You smiled, biting your lip as you stepped inside. The car ride was silent, but your heart was not. Every second felt like an unsaid compliment hanging between you two. The venue was glowing with fairy lights and elegant flowers. As you stepped out of the car, your heels clicked softly against the marble, your peach dress flowing like soft music. Mrs. Jones greeted you warmly at the entrance. Wine, you look so lovely today. Peach suits you so well. Thank you, Oma. You are glowing today too. Together, you joined the crowd as wedding vows were exchanged, laughter echoing through the beautiful hall. After the ceremony, you made your way to One, who looked breathtaking in her bridal hanbok. One, you look like a queen tonight. You hugged her gently and handed her a small velvet box. For your new chapter, a little something from me. One smiled brightly. You're too sweet to me. Oh, come meet my husband. As he introduced you, Jungkook excused himself to take a business call. You were scanning the crowd, trying to spot Jungkook when suddenly, splash! A cold liquid hit your dress, and your eyes widened as the juice soaked into the delicate peach fabric Jungkook had picked for you himself. Your mouth parted in shock as you looked down at the ruined front of your dress. Oh, my dress! You looked up only to see a girl holding a half empty glass with an art bro and a smirk that could curdle milk. Watch where you are going. She tilted her head dramatically, clearly not the least bit sorry, and though you had never met her before, you instantly knew who she was. Hwayang, Jungkook's infamous ex. Your jaw tightened. She was every bit the manipulative brat you had heard about. But you were not in the mood to be disrespected. Oh, I'm really sorry I didn't see you. Could you tell me where the washroom is? I need to clean this. Hawaiian's lip curled into a mocking smile. Do I look like your maid? You blinked slowly, then smiled sweetly. No, you don't. Maids are helpful and classier. Her smirk faltered, but she quickly masked it. So you're the one who replaced me, huh? You tilted your head and gave her a slow once over. Replaced is a big word for someone who got discarded. Her jaw clenched. You don't even know what he and I had. One stepped closer, your voice steady and eyes gleaming like sharpened glass. You're right, I don't know, but I know what you lost and what I have every single night. She flinched, the air grew thick. You think he loves you? I don't think I see it in the way he looks at me, in the way he brings me chocolate and pretends he didn't. Why am trying to speak? But you cut her off, voice calm but slicing. Look, I came here for a wedding. I was raised not to start drama at sacred events. But you're testing limits. Wayang's voice rose, bitter and petty. You are just temporary. He will get bored. Excuse me, you could have just helped instead of barking. Attitude from someone who can't even wear a dress properly. You clenched your jaw and turned, not wanting to create a scene. I don't fight with cheap energy, but thanks for the offer. But then a sharp sound echoed. She slapped you right across your cheek. You blinked, then slowly raised your hand and delivered a sharp slap across your cheek, louder, sharper. The crowd around you still, even the music seemed to pause. That was for touching me. This, you stepped closer, your voice venom laced silk, is for speaking about him like you still matter. She stumbled back, clutching her face. You crazy? No, I'm calm. But touch me or talk about Jungkook again, and I promise your fake lashes won't survive round two. At that moment, Jungkook appeared, his phone still in his hand, expression dark with confusion. What the hell is going on? Before you could speak, Hwai Young ran up to him with crocodile tears and a dramatic soap. Cookie, she slapped me, she humiliated me in front of everyone. You roll your eyes, of course, she had play a victim. Mrs. Joan arrived too, already fuming. Don't listen to her, Jungkook. I saw it. She slapped wine first. Still, you said nothing. Just folded your arms and stared at Hwayang, who was now clinging to Jungkook's arm like a lifeline. You stepped forward, yanked her hand off him, and gave her a stare. So I see the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Touch him again, and you'll be washing floors with your bride. Hwayang gasped, clutching her hand like you had burned her. Why do you care so much? He was mine. Weinstone turned little. Keyword was. He chose to leave your toxicity and find peace. She scoffed. You think you're his peace? No, I know I am, because when I walk in, he doesn't flinch, he breathes. Jungkook stood silently behind you, stunned at the fire in your voice. Wine turned to him briefly, her eyes softening just slightly. You really did that? Jungkook looked like he wanted to smirk but kept his face straight. Mrs. Jones stepped between you all. Wayang, you need to leave now. And with that, Wayang stormed away, trembling with anger and embarrassment. You stood tall, your cheeks still stinging, but your pride intact. Jungkook looked at you for a long moment before speaking. You okay? I am, but your ex might need therapy. After the chaotic incident at the wedding, as things settled, Mrs. Jones walked over to you with a visibly apologetic look on her face. Her hand gently held yours. Wine, I'm so sorry for what happened. I didn't expect her to show up, let alone cause a scene. You smiled softly, trying to hide the sting on your cheek. No, please don't apologize. It wasn't your fault. I'm sorry too for the scene. Mrs. Jones shook her head with a proud, warm smile. I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself and for Jungkook. That means something. You both shared a small hug after dinner. Everyone began to beg their goodbyes. You hugged One one last time, whispering congratulations and waved goodbye to the newlyweds. Jungkook also politely bowed to the elders, said his goodbyes, and walked beside you to the car. The ride home was unusually silent. Jungkook drove quietly, one hand on the wheel, his face calm but unreadable under the soft glow of the streetlights. You sat with your hands in your lap, glancing at him occasionally. You checked your phone, 11:30 p.m. Just 30 minutes left for his birthday. You turned to him with a mischievous glint in your eyes. Mr. Coldy. He glanced at you briefly. Hmm, can I ask for something, please? He raised a brow at your pleading tone but nodded. What is it? You put on your best puppy eyes. Can we stop by the bakery real quick? At this hour? Why? Please, it's important. I'll tell you soon. Just trust me. He sighed but eventually turned the car toward the bakery. You practically jumped out before he even parked properly and ran inside, returning moments later with a white box. Chuko glanced at the bag and then at you. I didn't know you were craving cake. You grinned but didn't answer, hugging the box tightly to your chest. At home, as soon as you entered, you turned to him quickly. Sit right here on the couch, no changing, no asking questions. Seriously? That's serious. He shook his head with a faint chuckle and sat on the couch. You dashed to the kitchen, carefully placing the cake on the table in front of him. He looked even more confused now. Wine? What is all this? You didn't respond, instead, you darted back to your room. Moments later, you returned with a small shopping bag in hand, slightly out of breath, excitement glowing on your face. You glanced at your phone again, 11:59 p.m. Then, with a giggle, you turned off the lights and quickly lit the candles on the cake. Now, make a wish. Jungkook blinked, finally realizing what? It's your birthday. Now hurry up, it's 12. He stared at you for a second, a soft smile creeping onto his lips as he looked at the glowing candles and you standing behind them, beaming like sunshine. Chunko closed his eyes for a second, made a silent wish, and blew out the candles. You immediately turned the lights back on and started clapping like a little kid, swinging side to side. Happy birthday, my Mr. Goldie. He smiled, and this time it stayed. Oh my god, did you just smile? That's illegal. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Don't lie. Come on, smile again. You look 10 times more handsome. He let out a small laugh as he cut the cake, and you both took bites together, feeding each other with warm laughter, filling the quiet living room. Then you handed him the small pack, suddenly a bit nervous. Here, your gift. Jungkook took the bag and opened it slowly. His eyes softened as he pulled out a beautifully handmade blue sweater. You bite your lip waiting for his reaction. I made it myself. It took me weeks. Do you like it? He didn't say anything for a second, just looked at the sweater, then at you. It's perfect, really. You grinned and clapped once. Now, where is my return gift? Jungkook looked at you, then leaned in with a smirk. You want one? Of course I got you cake, sweater, and a surprise. Fair exchange. He suddenly leaned forward and gently pressed a soft kiss to your cheek. Your eyes widened in shock, mouth falling open slightly as he pulled back calmly. Happy now? You can't just. That's cheating. I wanted something wrapped in a box. That was better than anything in a box. You slapped his arm playfully, your face turning warm, flirty, coldy, but secretly your heart was racing. Then he looked at you seriously for a second. By the way, I'm sorry about earlier. Wyan shouldn't have been there or said anything of that. You nodded quietly. It's okay, just don't ever let anyone like her near you again. I won't. You looked at him, the sweater in his lap, the cake half eaten, and his smile still lingering in the air. And in that quiet little room, past midnight, something in your heart whispered, this night would stay with you forever.